Hey church, Pastor Marcus here, and this is with my wife Paige. And we're coming from our home, and we just want to share a burden that we have as a family, and that also we as Freshwater have, and that's raising the spiritual climate of our community, but specifically raising the spiritual climate of our families. And that starts with discipling our kids. That falls on primarily on us as parents. And so we want to come to you and share with you how we do that through our conversations, through our intentionality, through modeling through our conversations, as well as being open and vulnerable. And so for us, we have one son. His name is James, and he's 9 years old. And
Yep.
you have some stuff you want to share about him?
He's 9. He's a fourth grader. Sometimes he acts like he's, graduating high school, though, and ready to enter college. Wanting that independence. He's at that age where he just really wants independence. But what we're really noticing is that he's really coming into who he is as a person. He's at that critical age where, you see who they are all while they're growing up, but there's a turning point when they hit that middle school age. And we've noticed that, he loves football. This is becoming a new love for him. He likes to be active and outside and running, constantly moving. And then he's also very creative. So there's a sensitive side to him as well that we just want to be able to culture all of that.
And so we just want to share with you kind of our experiences of how we go about having these conversations. And so we try to model this around the Deuteronomy 6, that our discipling is around our comings and goings, that it's not always a strict one only time during the day, but it happens in our going to school and coming back from school, making supper, before supper, after supper, and going to sleep. And so we just want to share kind of the experiences with you guys. If you guys have kids in this 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade time frame, that as they grow and as they mature and as they learn coming into their own, how we can do this, because they're desiring to know about who we are, know about their faith. And so we just want to share with you some of the experiences to equip you, to encourage you that you guys can do this, that we're in this together. This isn't just us talking to you, but we're talking with you, that we're not perfect at this by any means. And as our kid grows and as your kids grow, that we have to continue learning and continue being intentional and modeling who we are as Christians to our kids, so they in turn can relate to us as well as grow in their faith. And so you want to share a few ways that we...
So the first way that I really try to connect with James, because it all starts with connecting. So I need to know who he is and learning about him. And so one of the first ways is I actually try to kind of rope him into helping me with supper. Or when I come back from grocery shopping, I'll try to get the lunches ready for the week and stuff, divvy it all up. And I kind of rope him into helping me with that. So I'll give him a choice, can you do this or that? And he'll usually be like, all right, I'll help. But what it does is it starts him talking with me, because we're just sitting in the kitchen doing different things. Sometimes I can ask a question right away, which I try to do. Sometimes he's just willing to share. But making sure that I am responsive to his sharing, and continue asking him and finding out what else he wants to tell me. And I know a lot of times that, because I'm not the one that brings him home from school, that when I have him help with supper, I usually ask about his day. And sometimes I get that vague.
I'm fine. It's good.
Yep. Minnesota nice answer is the way we put it. That Minnesota nice answer. How's your day? Oh, good. Okay, well, what happened in your day? School. Okay, what activity did you do at recess today? What activity did you do? Who did you sit by at lunch? Did you eat all of your lunch? Because a lot of times he eats half his lunch on the way home from school. So obviously there was some conversations with his friends that I want to know about, just so I can learn about him.
And so, we just try to be intentional and ask those questions, like you were saying, how do those conversations happen with your friends? Not just ask about the day, because we tend to get that normal response. And in our marriage, we tend to do that. How was your day?
Yeah.
Oh, it was fine, or it was good. How did your relationship go with your coworkers? So, with our kids, try to model that. How did that relationship go with your friends? What did you talk about at recess? What did you learn at school? What did you learn in math? Be really intentional about what they're learning, because then they realize that we care about them. Yeah. That we're not just asking it because we're being parents, but we're trying to understand them and relate to them and encourage them in their journey. I know Paige mentioned this, that she doesn't take him to and from school. I'm actually the one that does that. And so those are a lot of times that me and James have intentional time together. We have 8.5 minutes to school and 8.5 minutes home. And those are some of the best 17 minutes that we have, because I can ask him, what are you excited about today? and what and coming back, what did you learn today? What did you have those conversations? And he's usually pretty open to talk about all the fun stuff, all the fun football catches he made and stuff like that, which is all nice and grand, and we love that. But we also care about his soul and where he is with Jesus. And so we try to get down to that, like, how did you have any difficult conversations? Did you have any hard conversations? Did you have any hard times? And then to relate that with him. Another way that we have that between me and James, that intentional conversation, is actually something he's actually brought up to me. He'll ask me how I'm feeling. And I've come to realize he's trying to relate with me. He wants to know, like, hey, I see you angry or frustrated. Like, what are you feeling? And so that there's another intentional moment to model to him what it looks like to share my feelings. And as a man, that's hard to do. I'll readily admit that it's hard to share how I'm feeling, because I'm like, oh, I'm frustrated and I just want to fix it. But my son is trying to learn and relate, like, okay, I see you talking with me about how to work through emotions. Like, how are you working through this? Yeah. And there's a chance to share, like, biblically, I'm frustrated and I'm hurting and I'm trying to work through it this way. And he can go, oh, that's how you do that.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I don't think it's, you kind of joke that because you're a man, it's hard. But it's hard just as a parent to want to go that deep with your child. Like, I feel like we're kind of taught, keep that out of their reach, where I feel like the more vulnerable we are with them, the more he's willing to share with us and be vulnerable with us. And what we really learn is that he truly just wants to spread that to others. Like, he wants to take what we're learning and he's learning and apply that right away to his life. And kids are just so, they just want desire to learn and apply right away. Like, it's so fast for them that I always tell James, like, well, we want you to be better than us. We don't want you to have to learn this when you're 30 years old. We want you to learn it when you're 9 instead. So.
And one way that we wrap that up is in our going to bed prayer. And so that's special to us that when we put James down, that we all pray together as a family. And that's just the way that we're intentional, but it also models that God is the center of our family. And so when we go to bed, that we want to acknowledge God, what he's done in our life, the things we're struggling with that we need prayer for, and praying for others as well, that it's bigger than just us. Yeah. And that we need Jesus, that every day, whether it's good or bad, we need to talk to Jesus. And then so we just go about praying. Sometimes I'll pray, sometimes Paige will pray, sometimes James will pray. And that's some of the most sweet times that we have with him.
We really get to see, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We really get to see what's on his heart, heavy on his heart, that God puts on his heart when we spend that time praying and teaching him that it's okay to share everything that's on your heart with God. Like, we don't have to hide anything because God can see it all anyway. So we just want to encourage you guys, again, that you can be intentional and that you can model this to your kids, and that it starts with being real with who you are, being authentic with your kids. Kids can smell it from a mile away. I feel like they're getting better and better. When we grew up, it was harder to smell what our parents were feeling, and they can pick it up from a mile away. And so it doesn't make sense to try to hide it or keep our kids away from us, that we should bring them in and share how we're feeling, how we're doing. And so we just want to say that you're doing well, that you can continue to grow, that we're growing as a family and as parents as well. And we want to encourage you and equip you and empower you to do this discipling, because it does fall on us as parents in this time of not being in school and not knowing if we can meet together as big groups, that it comes down to us and how we're raising our kids. And so we love you guys. We hope that this is an encouragement to you, and that you can continue to disciple your kids and have a Christ-centered home. Yeah. So from us to you, we love you, and we'll see you later.